Okay, so what size are your boobs?
I was like, what size are my what?
I had it in my hand. It's gone. They've lost it, it seems.
Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how. Rewind, maybe rewind. So nice.
You know, back home, if your mother just gives you that Undertaker eye, you automatically is absolutely nothing surprising about finding yourself actually borrowing money for you to make ends meet. 6-incher on my screen. I was traumatized. I think that's one of the UK is not a land of milk and honey. Welcome back, guys. Today we are continuing with part 2 of bringing your family to UK. I'm currently on a cruise ship, and behind me is the beautiful city of Liverpool. I'm en route to somewhere. So guys, the reason why we are continuing with this topic is because it is very important for you to prepare yourself before you come to live in the UK. Oftentimes they refer the UK as the land of milk and honey, or people come here for greener pastures, but is it really green? And then you also have people who come here as single. Either it's a single guy or a single boy or a single man. Is there any hope for a relationship in this place? And then also there comes in the issue of the raising of children in UK. What you have to know is that once you are here at the site, there is a great change. The laws which apply in our country and the laws which apply here in the UK are totally different when it comes to children. So when you bring your children over the side, they are no longer your children. They are actually governed by the law. How you treat your children is governed by the law. So I have noted that some people, they would have been staying together 5 years, 10 years, no marriage, no white wedding, no exchange of vows, but all of a sudden, just because they are now coming to UK, they want to tie the knot. But why didn't you tie the knot 5-10 years ago when you initially got married? What is the purpose of tying the knot in the first place? And is it a wise idea for people to tie the knot and come to UK? Does it really fix the pre-existing problems? So today I'm going to be covering all those things, whether there are any advantages or disadvantages of getting married before you come to UK, and I'm also going to be covering a few of the laws that govern children here, which you need to be aware of before you land here.
Alright, they asking for the queen. I'm a bad bitch, she's a savage. Look back while I twerk. No comparison. I'm a savage, yeah. Classy, bougie, ratchet, yeah. Sassy, moody, nasty, yeah. Acting stupid. What was happening? What was happening?
So guys, I'm sure you've heard most of the time when you're coming here that UK is a land of milk and honey. You are going to be making so much money. Guys, UK does not have as much money as people say it has. That is the honest truth. The truth is, most of the people here, they live hand to mouth. So when you bring your family over here, be prepared to be broke the first few months. Most of the money just goes to rentals, it goes to bills. I will do a video, I'm going to break down the bills that we have here in UK. So when you bring your family over, be prepared to be broke, because most of the time you would have been staying by yourself and you're budgeting maybe for one person, and obviously when you're sending that money back home, whatever amount you're sending, it becomes a substantial amount of money. For example, if you are converting pounds to maybe Ghana cedis or Naira, it will be a lot of money, and it's easier to sustain and maintain a family if they are still back in Africa. But once they come here, it's not very easy. Education is free in the UK, but there are certain things that you have to pay for. For example, if your child is going to primary school or secondary school, per given month you have to be forking out something like £60 for school meals. So which means if you've got 4 children, that is 60 by 4, which you would have not been prepared for, or which would have not been forking out before they came. And you have to start paying for things like school buses, transport to school, and the fact that you are now feeding 4 mouths or 6 mouths or whatever the number of family is, it makes a huge impact on your pocket. So do not be surprised that sometimes when you bring your family over, you are left cashless. The number one thing is that you are definitely going to look for bigger accommodation, because obviously if you are bringing a family over, you can't continue to be staying in a one-bed flat or in a shared accommodation. So that on its own will eat a big chunk of your money. Just like I showed in the other video, like if you're living in a place like London, the honest truth is that you'll be doomed. Because from the 1.8 that you get from NHS, or 1.7, if you're expected to pay, if you're in London, £1,200, £1,400 on a 2-bed flat, £1,500 on a 3-bed flat. And then you have to pay the bills as well. You have to pay council tax, you have to pay school meals, school dinners. You also have to commute to work. You have to pay monthly insurance for your car if you've got a car, and you have to put petrol in your car. So from just that 1.7 or 1.8 that I've already said that you get in the NHS, or even if you say 2,000 that you get in a care home, that money is not enough to sustain you throughout the month, especially if you have your family over. So do not be surprised if you find yourself within the first few months borrowing money. Actually, you have to make sure that you've got good IPR skills in people, so that when the need arises for you to borrow money, you can easily borrow money. There is absolutely nothing surprising about finding yourself actually borrowing money for you to make ends meet, because the honest truth, the money is just too little. Guys, so now let's talk about disciplining children. You know that the way we discipline children in Africa and the way we discipline children in the UK is different. You see, back home, we believe in that if you spare the rod, you spoil the child. So it is normal for people to take just a small branch from a tree and make out justice, or just a small branch from a tree and discipline children. Unfortunately, it doesn't work here in UK. You see here, if you use the can like we do back home, if you use a sleeper, if you use any type of heating, is not allowed in UK. So it is very, very difficult to discipline children here. You know, back home, if your mother just gives you that undertaker eye, you automatically know what that undertaker eye means. You automatically start to behave. Unfortunately, here, that eye doesn't work. I was laughing with my friend the other day when she was saying that she actually gave her son that eye to see if it's going to work. And the son asked her, "Why are you looking at me like that? Are you okay?" You see, back home, as we knew automatically that if your mother gives you that undertaker eye, if they are relatives, once the relatives are gone, she is going to discipline you. And you know what I mean by discipline you. It's either she's going to use a belt, she's going to use a slipper, she's going to use a twig or a small branch from a tree. You will know that you'll be disciplined. Unfortunately, here in UK, if you do that, it is termed as abuse. And since it's termed as abuse, there's a likelihood that you can actually have police called on you. You can actually have social workers called on you. And you can even go to the extent of having your children taken away from you. So it is very difficult to discipline children here in UK. Anyway, there are certain forms of discipline which are actually used here in UK. So if you want to find out how children are actually disciplined here in UK, I'm going to be sharing more on that on my next video. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe so that you don't miss it. And then guys, people have always asked me, especially the single ones, when they come here to live in UK, is there hope for getting a functional relationship? What I realized is, you know, when you're back home, if you are all dressed up and dolled up, you go out there, even in the streets, you get people saying, "Excuse me, may I talk to you for a second?" or "Excuse me, may I please have your number?" and stuff like that. Here, you dress up, look good, and look all that. You go, whether you're going to the city center or where you go to the city center and come back without having anyone saying hi to you or anything like that. So that's why it led me to wonder to say, is it possible to actually have a relationship here? So I went to one of my local friends here and I asked him, he's a guy, I asked him, "So guys, I've noted that people don't talk to me in the street, no matter how good I'm looking. You know that even if you're not, even if you're in a relationship, even if you're married, if people just give you that hi or give you that eye or ask for your number and you decline, it actually shows that you still have life in you. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. But if there's no one saying hi to you, it makes you feel as if you no longer have that punch. So this guy says to me, you see, if you want to get someone to date, you can go online. There are online dating apps. You can actually go online. So guys, myself, I believe that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. So I just have to put the shades back on because the glare is just too much. So I wanted to find out for myself how this actually goes and all that. So as told, I created my own profile put up nice photos and everything, posted the profile. And after posting that profile, within less than 30 minutes, I had more than 100 messages, literally more than 100 messages. So I was like, okay, let me look for the cutest. Anyway, I think it's nice to chat with the cute guy. Anyway, let me look for the cutest guy and respond to the message. So I see, okay, this one was cute. Hi, how are you? I'm fine. Then the next one.
So, what size are your boobs?
I was like, what size are my what? I was shocked, but I was typing. I said, what size are my what? Then his response was,
I'm a 6 incher.
6 inch, what's that? Because I'm confused. I didn't know what a 6 incher is, because no one has ever said that to me. So I innocently asked, what is that? And then 6 incher on my screen. I was traumatized. I think that's one of the reasons my eyes are still red today, because I always complain of having red eyes. So guys, first 2-3 sentences, someone asks what size are you, and I'm a 6 incher. So it makes me wonder, like if you are a man, if you are a woman, would you like to date a person who starts asking you about your assets before they even get to know you? And then it also made me wonder, is there really hope for the people who are single? Well, subscribe, you find out in my next video. Now, I don't know whether you have noted, but it seems like there is an increase in the number of nurses who are being killed by their husbands. And it's not like I don't kid you, I'm being serious. Like, I mean, look at these articles that I'm going to post.
Think about me one more time before you go. Someday you'll know. Someday you'll know. Already know what I'm going to say. I've been feeling this way for far too long.
See guys, you know, seeing such news in the newspapers and on television and on social media, it's really disheartening. It makes you wonder what could be the possible cause of that. But at the same time, in the wondering, I also get an answer to say. On my last video, we mentioned that sometimes the women are the ones who are working, and when they are the ones who are working, they tend to grow and they become all bossy and they become bullies and so forth. And most of the men won't be happy with that situation, but they keep it bottled inside. And when they keep it bottled inside, when they finally snap, they go to extremes and end up killing their wives. Another mistake that I noted that people make is that people tend to want to seal their relationships with marriage when they are coming to UK. What I mean is, you discover that people would have been staying together 5 years, 10 years, and the issue of them tying the knot wouldn't have come up until the wife wants to come to UK or the husband wants to come to UK, and you discover that they get married this week, or they get married like today, and 3 weeks later the wife is in UK, and then the husband follows. But guys, what you have to take note of is that sealing your relationship with marriage does not solve the pre-existing problems. If you have problems in your marriage, they are only going to get worse in UK. Why am I saying they're going to get worse? Is because The difference between UK and where you're coming from back home, for example, maybe if you're in Zimbabwe, you know that if you've got problems, you go to your aunt, you talk to your aunt, you go to your grandmother, you go to your mother, you go to your father. You've got a big support system. But in UK, you don't have that support system, and men have got that pride. It's very difficult for a man to actually admit that, look, my wife is abusing me, or look, I'm not happy in this marriage. So they are broken up, and that anger is building up. And when that anger builds up, at the end of the day, when they finally erupt, they end up doing things which they regret. They end up killing their wives and killing themselves. So in my opinion, you can have your own opinion on that, but in my opinion, it is a great mistake to believe that tying the knot will solve your problems. It doesn't solve any problems at all. The best thing that you can do is to solve your existing problems. And remember, when you tie the knot, guys, it's not easy to get out of that marriage, because in the UK, divorce is very expensive. So you have to wait before you just dive into going tie that knot. Wait, is it really worth it? Don't quote me, I'm just asking you, is it really worth it or not? If the end result is going to be the death of you, if the end result is your children becoming orphans, then to me it's not worth it. So, food for thought, I'll leave that in your hands. Guys, thank you so much for coming back to my channel and watching my videos. If you found them to be helpful so far, kindly like, subscribe, share, and hit the notification bell so that you are alerted when I upload my next video. I know in my last video it said we are going to be looking at the solutions to all those problems, and we are still going to look at the solutions to all those problems. I thought I should just highlight all the other problems or the other potential problems that you might come across when you converse, because you know what they say, forewarned is forearmed. So if you are prepared, you won't be taken by surprise when you're now experiencing all those problems. So I will see you in my next video. Now just see how beautiful, I don't know whether it's beautiful or scary the sea is.